The crash and the sky was dark. Lightning flashed across the clouds. A small spaceship flew low, shaking badly. Inside, Captain Ryan gripped the controls. His face was covered in sweat. Alarms were ringing. "Mayday. Mayday," he said, into the radio. "This is Scout Ship Echo 9. Systems failing. Crash landing on planet X7. The ship hit the ground hard. Metal screamed. Sparks flew. Ryan's head slammed into the side. Everything went black. When he opened his eyes, it was silent. Smoke filled the air. Ryan unbuckled himself and climbed out. He was alone. No sign of his team. Only rocks, sand, and strange red trees. His suit was damaged. Oxygen was low, but the emergency scanner beeped. It picked up a faint life signal nearby. "Maybe someone survived," he whispered. He followed the signal to a deep cave hidden under a rocky hill. The wind howled outside, but inside the cave was still and cold. As he stepped in, he saw strange lights on the walls, glowing symbols. Not human. His flashlight flickered. He raised his weapon just in case. Then he saw her, a girl, not more than 17. Her skin was pale blue, her hair white like snow, eyes glowing soft green. She was curled up in the corner, shaking, bleeding. She looked at him, afraid. Ryan lowered his weapon slowly. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said gently. The girl didn't speak. Her breathing was weak. One of her legs was hurt badly. He reached into his pack and pulled out a med kit. Carefully, he began to wrap her wound. "What are you doing out here?" he asked, not expecting an answer. Suddenly, his radio crackled. "Scout Ryan, respond. This is command." He pressed the button. "I'm here." Crash landed. "Found someone. An alien survivor. Young female. She's hurt." There was silence. Then a cold voice answered. "Kill the witness." Ryan froze. "What?" "Kill the alien. Mission priority. She's not supposed to live." The radio went silent again. Ryan looked at the girl. She stared at him, confused. She couldn't hear the radio, but she saw the change in his face. His hand tightened on the med kit. Then he stood up, took off his helmet, and placed it near her. "You're coming with me," he said. He heard a sharp sound outside. A drone. They had sent someone. Ryan lifted the girl gently. She cried out in pain but held on to him. They moved quickly out of the cave. Red dust flew in the air. A laser shot hit the ground near them. They ran through the strange forest. Trees with silver leaves swayed above them. Shadows followed behind. "Hold on," Ryan said. "We're almost clear." The scanner beeped again. More drones incoming. They reached an old wreck, a crashed ship from years ago. Ryan kicked open the door and pulled her inside. He set her down, breathing hard. Her eyes looked into his. She touched her chest and then pointed at him. "Ryan," she said slowly. He nodded. "Yeah, that's me." She closed her eyes, said something in a strange language. Her hand glowed for a moment. His radio crackled again. Final warning. Eliminate the alien. Ryan turned the radio off. The girl opened her eyes. She pointed to a small device on her arm. It blinked once, then showed a map. "You want me to take you there?" Ryan asked. She nodded. Outside, heavy footsteps were getting closer. "Soldiers." Ryan picked up a metal pipe. "If they find us, we fight," he said. The girl looked at the pipe, then at him. She smiled, just a little. "You're not like them," she said quietly. He stared at her, surprised she could speak even a little English. Before he could reply, the door burst open. 3 soldiers entered. "Guns up." "Stand down, Ryan," one shouted. "Step away from the target." Ryan didn't move. He stood in front of her, blocking their view. "She's not a target. She's a person," he said. The lead soldier raised his weapon, but Ryan was faster. He threw the pipe, hitting the man's hand. The gun fired into the ceiling. "Run!" Ryan shouted. He pulled the girl through the back hatch. Blaster fire chased them. Trees exploded behind them as they ran into the jungle. They didn't stop until the sounds faded. Ryan looked down at her. "You okay?" She nodded slowly, eyes wide but brave. "Good," he said, "because we've got a long way to go." Above them, a red moon rose, and behind them someone whispered into a radio, "They got away." The Chaserian ran through the jungle carrying Scylla in his arms. Behind them, loud footsteps crashed through the trees. Voices shouted, "Don't let them escape." Lasers flew past, burning the leaves. Explosions shook the ground. Smoke filled the air. Ryan's heart pounded. His lungs burned. But he didn't stop. The girl's life depended on him. Scylla held tightly to his chest. She was still weak. Blood stained her clothes, but her glowing eyes stayed open. She was watching everything. They slid down a hill and hid behind thick roots of a giant tree. Ryan whispered, "Stay quiet." She nodded. A moment later, soldiers ran past above them. Ryan held his breath. One of the soldiers paused, looking down at the roots, but then he turned and followed the others. They waited in silence. Only the wind moved the leaves. Finally, Ryan stood up. "We can't stay here," he said. "They'll be back." He looked at her arm device. The small map was still glowing. It showed a blinking dot. Some kind of location. Maybe a safe place. "We go here," he said. She gave a weak smile. "Yes. Home," she whispered. Ryan looked around. "Then let's find your home." They moved slowly through the strange forest. Ryan helped Scylla walk, sometimes carrying her. The jungle looked alive. Trees had eyes that blinked. Vines moved like snakes. Glowing insects flew in the air. Every sound felt dangerous. Every shadow could hide an enemy. As night came, the sky turned deep purple. 2 moons rose. The light was soft but cold. They found an old building, half buried in the ground. Metal doors rusted and broken. A forgotten lab. Inside, Ryan lit a small fire with his survival kit. The walls were covered in strange writing, alien language mixed with human tech. He stared at one symbol. It looked like Earth's military logo, but twisted. Scylla sat near the fire. She pointed at the symbol. "Bad men. Came from sky. Broke peace. Took everything." Ryan looked at her. "Your people were peaceful?" She nodded slowly. "We healed. We shared. But they wanted more." She touched her chest. "Energy. My kind has power. And they tried to take it?" "Yes," she said, looking down. "Many died." Ryan sat beside her. "I didn't know. They never told us that." She looked up. "You are different." Before Ryan could answer, the ground shook. A sound echoed outside. He ran to the doorway. In the distance, lights moved, not flashlights. Search drones. They had found them again. Ryan turned. "We move, now." He helped her up, but her leg was worse. She couldn't walk fast. They slipped out the back and into the tall grass. Drones passed above them. They stayed low, barely breathing. But one drone stopped. It turned slowly, scanning. A beep. "Run!" Ryan shouted. They ran as the drone screamed a siren. Lights flashed red. Gunfire exploded behind them. A bullet grazed Ryan's shoulder. He cried out but didn't stop. Suddenly, Scylla stopped. Her eyes glowed bright. She turned, raised her hand, and her palm shimmered with light. A pulse of blue energy shot out, hitting the drone. It sparked and fell, crashing into the dirt. Ryan stared. "What was that?" She fell to her knees, breathing hard. "Not strong yet. Takes too much." Ryan helped her again. "We'll find somewhere safe. I promise." They reached a quiet cave by the river. Scylla slept, her head on Ryan's jacket. Ryan sat near the entrance, holding a piece of broken metal. His only weapon now. He thought about everything. His mission, his team, his orders. They told him to kill her, but she was just a girl, young, kind, scared, and powerful in a way he didn't understand. She had saved his life, already. He looked at her glowing face in the firelight. "What are you?" he whispered. Behind him, a voice answered. "Something you were never meant to see." Ryan spun around, weapon up. A figure stepped from the shadows, tall, wearing a black suit with no name tag, eyes like cold glass. "Who are you?" Ryan asked. The man smiled. "Just a ghost, here to fix your mistake." Ryan moved in front of Scylla. "You're not touching her." The man tilted his head. "You're already in too deep. This planet was off limits for a reason. Because your people did something wrong," Ryan said. "You attacked them." The man didn't deny it. "We needed her, not her people. Just her." Ryan stepped forward. "Not anymore." The man pulled out a small device and pressed it. Red light appeared in the sky. A beacon. "They're coming," he said. "You can't stop them." He vanished into the darkness. Ryan stood in silence, heart racing. Scylla opened her eyes slowly. "He's one of them?" she asked. Ryan nodded. "Yes, and more are coming." She sat up, eyes glowing stronger now. "Then we fight." Ryan looked at her, surprised. "You're ready?" "No," she said, "but we don't have a choice." Outside, the sky burned red as ships began to enter the atmosphere, and the real chase was just beginning. The betrayal, they moved before sunrise. Ryan and Scylla followed the path shown on her arm device. It pulsed gently, leading them deeper into the wild forest. The air was thick. Strange creatures watched from the shadows. Above, the sky grew darker. Not because of night, but because of ships. Human ships. They were coming in silence. Warships that shouldn't exist on a peace mission. Ryan kept his weapon ready, but his mind was louder than the jungle. Questions burned inside him. Why would command lie? Why send a squad just to kill one girl? What was she hiding? Scylla walked beside him, leaning on a stick like a cane. Her energy was still low, but her eyes, those glowing, otherworldly eyes, were calm. She trusted him. That scared him the most. They reached a high cliff. Below was an old landing zone, cracked, half-covered in vines. A broken satellite dish pointed at the sky. Ruins of something once secret. A memory flashed in Ryan's mind. A briefing he had once heard but wasn't allowed to record. Project Harvest, someone had whispered. Something about bioenergy. Something about alien DNA. He never thought it was real. He looked at Scylla. "This place, you know it?" She nodded. "It's where they took my family." He felt his chest tighten. Before he could speak, a sound broke the air. The sharp buzz of an engine. A black transport ship dropped from the clouds. No markings, no warning. It landed hard, kicking up dust. Ryan grabbed Scylla's hand. "Run!" Too late. A voice rang out from behind them. "Drop your weapon, soldier." Ryan turned. 4 soldiers, all in black, rifles aimed, and standing in. The middle was Commander Voss, Ryan's old leader. "Commander?" Ryan said, confused. "What are you doing here?" Voss stepped forward slowly. "Finishing what you couldn't." "I don't understand." Voss raised a hand. "You were supposed to observe. If the subject survived, eliminate. Clean, simple, no emotions, no questions." Ryan's heart sank. "You used me," Voss smirked. "You volunteered." Ryan stepped in front of Scylla. "She's not a weapon. She's alive." Voss's smile faded. "She's not a girl. She's a power core, walking, breathing energy. Enough to power ships, weapons, even entire cities." Scylla flinched. Her fingers glowed faintly. Ryan stood firm. "She trusted me. I won't let you take her." Voss's eyes grew cold. "You already have." He nodded. Another voice came from the ship's ramp, Lieutenant Darius, Ryan's best friend. Sorry, Ryan, Darius said. We had to make sure you'd lead us here. Betrayal hit like a knife. You were tracking us? Ryan whispered. Darius looked away. It wasn't supposed to go this far. Just bring her in. No one dies. They already did, Silas said quietly. My people. Your people. Suddenly her body shone bright blue. Energy crackled in the air. The soldiers stepped back. Don't, Voss shouted. You'll kill yourself. Ryan held her arm. No. Not like this. She's charging, one soldier said, panicked. She's gonna blow. Boom. A shockwave exploded from Sila's body, and not deadly but powerful enough to throw everyone to the ground. Smoke. Dust. Chaos. Ryan grabbed Sila and pulled her into the trees. Bullets flew past, but she raised a shield of energy blocking the shots. They ran again deeper into the jungle. Breathless. Bleeding. Hearts racing. After what felt like hours, they reached a cave behind a waterfall. Cold. Dark. Hidden. They collapsed inside. Ryan looked at her, both shaking. Why didn't you tell me? She was silent. Then she spoke. I didn't want you to look at me like them. Like a weapon? Ryan asked. She nodded. I never will, he said. Her glowing hand reached for his. Then you have to know the truth. She closed her eyes. The air shimmered. Suddenly, Ryan saw images in his mind. Not memories, but hers. Giant cities of light, tall beings walking with humans. Peace. Trade. Unity. Then betrayal. Soldiers. Fire. Screaming children. Energy drained from her people like fuel. Humans had lied. Colonized. Harvested. And Sila. She was the last. Ryan gasped and pulled back. They used us, he said. The whole mission was a cover. Sila nodded. What now, he asked. She looked at the stars through the cave's mouth. I can run. I can hide. But they'll never stop. So we fight, he said. Just us? She asked. Ryan reached into his pack. Pulled out an old device, a signal beacon he was never supposed to use. Not just us, he said. I'm calling someone who still believes in doing the right thing. She tilted her head. Who? Someone who owes me their life. Activated the beacon. A green light blinked. Somewhere in space, an old ally saw the signal and turned their ship around. Ryan looked at Sila. We end this. She nodded. Together. But far above, in the black silence of orbit, a much larger ship was watching, and it had just locked onto their position. The rescue the rain began just before dawn. It fell in sharp silver drops, hissing against the jungle leaves. Cold wind swept across the cliffs. The planet itself felt like it was holding its breath. Deep in the cave, Ryan stared at the old beacon blinking green. No reply yet. He wiped the blood from his face and checked Sila's wound again. Her skin glowed faintly beneath the bandages. She was healing, but slowly. Too slowly. Sila opened her eyes and whispered, They are close. How close? Ryan asked. Close enough to kill. He moved to the cave entrance. Smoke rose in the far sky. Black clouds moving fast. Drop pods. Not one. Not two. At least 7. They weren't coming to capture. They were coming to finish the mission. Miles away, inside the hidden human command ship orbiting the planet, Commander Voss stood before a glowing screen. His eyes were sharp, his voice colder than space. Prepare the extraction squad, he said. Lieutenant Darius stood beside him, frowning. You saw what she did yesterday. We won't take her alive. Voss didn't blink. We don't need her alive anymore. We just need her core. Darius hesitated. And Ryan? Leave him, Voss said. Let him see what loyalty costs. Ryan and Sila didn't wait for them. They were already on the move. Sila limped, leaning on Ryan, while he carried an old blaster taken from the last ambush. They followed her arm device, and now showing a hidden path through the jungle. Somewhere a gate waited, not just a physical one, something ancient, something her people had buried long ago. This gate, Ryan said. Where does it go? Sila's voice was calm. Home. He looked at her. I thought your home was gone. It is, she said. But some of us left, before the fire came. They wait, they sleep. If I reach them, they'll wake. What happens when they wake? Sila looked at the sky. Balance. They reached a stone platform, hidden under vines. Carved symbols circled the edges. Sila touched the stone gently. It pulsed with light. Just then, a loud crack echoed behind them. Blades cut through the trees. Enemy troops, black-armored, faces hidden, weapons glowing red, surrounded the platform. We found you, said one, stepping forward. Drop the girl, walk away, Ryan, last chance. Ryan raised his blaster. Not happening, the soldier smiled. You're not a hero. I don't need to be, Ryan said. Just better than you. They opened fire, but Sila stepped forward. No fear, no hesitation. She raised her hand, and unleashed light burst from her palm. Not an attack, but a wave of force that pushed the soldiers back. Trees snapped, ground cracked. Time itself seemed to hold still. Ryan watched in awe. She wasn't scared anymore. This wasn't a girl. This was a survivor reclaiming her strength. But the moment passed, and she collapsed. They grabbed her. She screamed. Ryan charged in rage, but was hit hard from behind. Blackness took him. He woke up in a cold metal room, hands tied, weapons gone. Outside, alarms were blaring. Through the glass wall, he saw her. Sila strapped to a table, machine scanning her, drawing her energy. Her eyes wide with pain. Don't do this, Ryan shouted. Commander Voss entered, calm as ever. We tried peace, Ryan, but the future needs power. She is power. She is alive, Ryan growled. Voss ignored him. You could have been part of something great. Now you'll die forgotten. He turned and walked away. The room went silent. Ryan struggled against the cuffs. No use. Then a sharp buzz in his ear. Always getting caught, aren't you? A voice said. He froze. Garen? Yep. The voice replied. Your beacon reached me. Orbital jammer nearly blocked it. Hold tight. A moment later, the lights went out. Sirens blared red. Explosions shook the base. In the chaos, Ryan's cuffs unlocked. A tiny drone floated in. From Garen, the smuggler pilot who once owed Ryan his life. Still fast, Ryan muttered, grabbing the drone's small gun. He ran. Fighting through the smoke, he reached the lab room. Soldiers were falling back, and in the center, Sila, no longer strapped. She stood now, floating inches off the floor, her body fully glowing, eyes white with power, machines around her sparking and melting. Ryan, she said softly, as he reached her. You okay? Better. They turned as the wall exploded behind them. Voss entered, full armor now, holding a heavy plasma cannon. This ends here, he shouted. Sila looked at Ryan. Do you trust me? With my life, he said. She raised her hands. Light wrapped around them both. Voss fired, but the beam bent around the light, missing them. Ryan aimed, and fired once. The cannon shattered. Voss fell back stunned. They ran, corridors burning, soldiers scattering, the base collapsing. Garen's ship hovered outside the blast doors. You're late, Ryan shouted, pulling Sila up the ramp. You're welcome, Garen replied. Hang on. They blasted into the sky just as the base exploded behind them. In orbit, silence returned. Garen flew the ship through the clouds. Sila lay resting, her energy drained again. Ryan sat beside her. You saved me this time, he said. She smiled, faintly. You saved me first, he looked at the stars ahead. Where now? She pointed to the map. The gate. We must finish it. And what happens if we do? She looked at him, eyes glowing once more. Then we bring them back. Far behind them, in the broken ruins of the command base, a single drone crawled from the rubble. Its eye blinked red, a message sent to a shadowy figure across the galaxy. Subject escaped. With Protector, awakening has begun. The real war was coming. The secret. The stars outside the ship drifted slowly. Inside, all was quiet. Scylla lay on the IT medbed, eyes closed, her skin glowing faintly. Ryan sat beside her, his hand resting near hers. The hum of Garen's ship was the only sound, gentle and steady. They were finally free. Or so they thought. Ryan stared at the map glowing on the table in front of him. It was unlike anything human. A living map, shifting with light and pulse connected to Scylla's energy. It showed one point now, pulsing slowly in the dark void. The gate, a location beyond known star charts. You sure you want to go there? Garen asked from the cockpit. There's nothing out that way but dead systems and ghost stories. We're not looking for something alive, Ryan replied. We're looking for something sleeping. Scylla woke 3 hours later. Her strength had returned. Ryan stood at the window, watching stars blur into streaks as they entered hyperspace. She joined him quietly. This place we're going, he asked. Is it real? Or just a legend? Scylla took a long breath. It's both. He turned to face her. Then tell me everything. No more half-truths. She looked into his eyes and nodded. My people are not from this planet, she began. Not even this galaxy. We came through something called the Gate of Origin, long before humans even had language. You came to our galaxy? Yes. We were guardians, explorers, peacebringers. The gate was a bridge between galaxies, not made by us, made by something older, something we still don't understand. Ryan frowned. How did humans get involved? They found a broken gate buried on a moon. They reactivated it. They sent soldiers through and found us. She paused. Her voice grew heavier. At first they traded. Then they demanded. Then they took. They tried to harvest your energy, Ryan said. Yes, but they failed to understand it. Why? Because this power, she said, touching her chest, is not science. It's soul. It's alive. It cannot be controlled, only shared. Ryan sat down, trying to take it all in. So this gate, it leads to your people? No, she said. It leads to a place where they sleep, not dead, not alive, resting. They locked themselves away to protect what was left. Ryan's voice lowered. And you want to wake them? She nodded. We have to, or this galaxy will burn. As the ship reached the edge of the star map, the lights dimmed. Outside, the stars vanished. Only blackness. There's nothing here, Garen muttered. Just void. But Scylla stepped forward. You don't see it, she said, but it sees you. She raised her hand, and a glow pulsed from her palm. The stars rippled, space itself bent, and then it appeared. The gate. Not made of metal, not built. It was grown, from light, from space, from memory itself. A circular structure the size of a moon, floating in silence. Ancient symbols danced along its surface, moving like rivers. My God, Ryan whispered. It's been waiting, Scylla said, for one of us to come home. But before they could approach, alarms blared on the ship. Incoming vessels, 6 ships, human design, cloaked until now, rose from behind asteroids. Black Sun Fleet. Garen cursed. They followed us. How? Ryan shouted. Someone must have planted a tracker, maybe back at the lab, maybe. He looked at Scylla, but she shook her head. Not me. Outside, the fleet formed a ring around the gate. Commander Voss's voice came through the comms. You led us right to it, he said. Thank you, Captain. You have no idea what you're dealing with, Ryan replied. I don't need to. I just need to control it. Ryan turned to Scylla. What do we do? She stepped forward. I go in alone. No, Ryan said. They'll destroy you. They can't, she whispered, because I'm not just Scylla anymore. Her eyes turned pure white. She opened the ship door and floated out into space. No suit, no shield, just light. The fleet locked on. Target acquired, came the voice of a drone pilot. Permission to fire? Voss paused. Fire. But before the weapons launched, the gate reacted. Its ancient patterns glowed. Light connected from the gate to Scylla, a beam of memory, and the gate began to open. A crack of gold light split the black void, and from within, voices, whispers, from the past. She has returned, the child of both bloods. Open the passage, awaken the core. The fleet panicked. Fall back, but it was too late. The gate exploded in light. Voss's ship shattered first. A wave of power ripped through the others. Garen's ship shook, but Scylla protected it. Inside, Ryan covered his eyes as the light grew. Then silence. He opened his eyes. The gate was still. Scylla floated back, unconscious but alive. Ryan pulled her into the ship. She opened her eyes slowly. "They're awake now," she said. "They know we're not safe." "Who's they?" She looked at him. "The ones who built the gate, far across the galaxy. In a dark chamber of glass and fire, something ancient opened its eyes, a being of shadows, of time, of silence. It had heard the gate. It had felt the awakening. And now, it whispered one word. War. The battle the galaxy was not ready. Not for this war, not for what Scylla had awakened. But it had already begun. From the center of the gate, light spilled out like blood from the stars. Ancient ships, and not made of metal but shaped from energy and thought, rose from the rift. They made no sound. They needed none. These were not ships built by tools. These were the last sentinels of Scylla's kind, guardians of peace or destruction. It would depend on what they found and what they judged. Inside Garen's ship, Ryan stood over Scylla. She was breathing fast, her skin still glowing from the gate's call. Her body had accepted something more. "What's happening to you?" he asked, trying to hide the fear in his voice. She opened her eyes. "They gave me a piece of themselves. The gate is not just a door, it's alive. It chose me." "Why you?" "Because I'm both," she said. "Alien by birth, human by fate. I'm the bridge." Before he could speak, a warning blared on the control screen. "Approaching fleet. 34 ships. Designation, United Earth Defense. Status, armed. Hostile." Garen cursed. "They're sending everything. Command must think Scylla's a weapon of mass destruction. Now!" Ryan clenched his fists. "They're not wrong, but they have no idea what else is coming." Outside, the sky cracked. A second gate had opened above the first. A darker one. Shadowy tendrils crept from it like claws. It wasn't made by Scylla's people. This gate wasn't pulsing with light. It was leaking something darker. Older. The Voidmakers, a race only known in whispers. Enemies of the Sentinels. Destroyers of balance. They had felt the gate open. And they had followed. On board the human command ship, surviving officers watched in silence. What are we looking at?" one asked. "A threat," another replied. But Commander Voss wasn't there to answer. His ship had been shattered in the last part of the battle, or so they thought. Deep in the black zone between the two gates, Ryan, Scylla, and Garen prepared for what would come. "We're outnumbered," Garen said, loading his weapons. "Outgunned. Out of time." "We still have a chance," Scylla whispered. "Not with weapons, not with war, with choice." "Choice?" Ryan asked. She stepped forward. Her hair lifted in the charged air. Light sparked at her fingertips. "The gate gave me something else. A connection. To the core mind of the Sentinels. But I have to enter it. Fully. If I go in, I might not come back." "No," Ryan said, standing. "You just got your freedom. You don't give it up." "It's not giving up," she said softly. "It's giving forward," Garen interrupted. "You two can argue about fate later. The enemy's here." He pointed outside, to the Voidmaker vessels circling like predators. Dozens. More arriving every second. And then, without warning, they attacked. It was not a normal battle. There were no missiles, no lasers. They attacked with silence, shutting down systems, freezing air, bending metal. Ships tore apart without being touched. Pilots screamed as thoughts turned against them. The Sentinels responded with bursts of light, shields of time, echoes of forgotten energy. It was like watching gods fight with memories and will. Humans tried to join, but their ships were like toys between giants. Ryan's ship shuddered. Inside, Scylla began to glow brighter. "I can stop them," she said, "but I have to go alone." "No," Ryan said again. "I'm not losing you." She reached for his face. "You never had me to lose," she said, smiling sadly. "You saved me. Now let me save everything." Before he could stop her, she walked through the airlock and floated out into space once more. But this time, she didn't stop at the gate. She became part of it. The structure wrapped around her, reading her memories, her pain, her hope. It saw what she had suffered, what she had chosen, who she had loved, and it accepted her. The gate pulsed once, and the Voidmaker fleet froze. For 1 second, all ships stopped moving. Then, from the gate, came a sound, like the voice of an ancient star crying out for justice. The light grew. Scylla's body was gone, or maybe it was now everywhere. Her face appeared in the glow, calm and still. "You have taken too much," she said. "Now you return what is not yours." With one final pulse, the gate erased the Voidmaker fleet, not with fire, with memory. Their ships vanished as if they had never existed. Time bent back on itself and rewrote the sky. When the light faded, Ryan opened his eyes. The gates were gone. The sky was silent. No sentinels, no Voidmakers, just stars and silence. "Scylla?" he whispered into the stillness. No reply. But then, from the controls, a flicker of light, her voice. Not a recording. "I'm still here, inside the gate, watching, waiting, and when the galaxy forgets again, I'll return." Tears ran down Ryan's face. Garen placed a hand on his shoulder. "She saved us all," the pilot said. Ryan looked at the stars. "No, she gave us a second chance. Now it's up to us not to waste it." Far away, in a hidden lab on a dark moon, a broken man in scorched armor sat at a console. Commander Voss had survived, and he had seen everything. His eyes burned with hate, and behind him, a shadow moved. "You failed," it whispered. "Not yet," he replied. "Then prepare. The gate has a guardian now, but even guardians fall." War was stopped. For now. But peace was never permanent. Not in the stars. The gift space was quiet again. For the first time in centuries, there was no war above. The stars, no weapons fired. No shadows spreading across planets. The gate was silent. But it was not gone. 3 months had passed. Ryan sat on a small moon station, overlooking a gas giant. The sky was gold and purple, swirling with light. People here didn't know what had happened. They didn't know a girl had saved the galaxy. They didn't remember the gate, or the battle, or the enemy from the dark, because time had been rewritten, erased. But Ryan remembered. He always would. He spent his days in silence, fixing small ships, reading old mission logs, staring at the sky. Garen had gone back to smuggling. "You're a hero now," he had said before leaving. "Me? I like the shadows." Ryan didn't argue. He didn't feel like a hero, not after losing her. He kept one thing with him, a small glowing stone, the last piece of Scylla. It pulsed sometimes, like it was dreaming, waiting. One morning, the sky shimmered. A soft ripple, invisible to others, passed over the station. Ryan felt it in his bones. He rushed to the roof of the landing tower, and there, floating just above the horizon, was a gate. Not the same one, a new one, smaller, gentler, quiet. It didn't open with power. It opened like a door left ajar, and from it stepped someone, a girl. She looked like Scylla, but younger, different. Her skin was no longer blue. Her eyes were a deep silver. Ryan stared, breath caught in his throat. She looked at him and smiled. "Hello," she said. "You don't know me, but I know you." He stepped forward. "Who are you?" "A gift," she said. From her. Inside the gate, a voice echoed in Ryan's mind. Warm, familiar, soft. "I couldn't return. Not in the body you knew. But I left something behind. Someone. She is not me, but she carries all I was. A child of the stars, and of you." Ryan's heart stopped. You made her?" he whispered. The voice smiled. "I didn't make her. The gate did. It gave back what was taken. Because you gave without asking anything in return. That is the oldest magic. The rarest power. This is your gift." The girl stepped closer. "I don't know everything," she said. "But I know. You're important. I feel it." Ryan kneeled. She placed the glowing stone in his hand, the same one he'd kept since the battle, and it vanished, absorbed into her chest. She blinked. A wave of light passed over her skin, and for just a second, her voice became Sila's. "Thank you," she whispered, then back to her own voice. "Can we go now, explore?" Ryan laughed, tears falling freely. "Yeah," he said. "We've got a lot of stars to see." They boarded a small scout ship, Ryan's old one, repaired and quiet. The engines hummed softly. As they lifted off, the gate faded behind them, not closing, just waiting for the next call. Epilogue: in a distant world buried deep in a cave of crystal, an ancient machine woke up. A single eye opened, blue, then red. Data flowed. Names, faces, memories. The girl, the gate, the guardian. Ryan. A voice behind the machine whispered, "We found them." Another voice replied, cold and sharp, "Then we take them." And the eye glowed brighter. Not with anger, with hunger. The story was not over, only paused, until the stars needed saving again.